Okay, welcome all of you. Now, today we are starting with the new topic, that is consumer equilibrium using indifference curve. Right? Now, this chapter is based on the theory of consumer, and here we just need to see how can a consumer equilibrium be achieved through another approach that has been propounded by Professor Hicks, and his approach was called as ordinal approach. Ordinal approach is basically based on ranks or based on higher, medium or lower level of satisfaction. Okay. Now, in simple we can say indifference curve is basically propounded by Professor Hicks, since he do not believe that the utility can be measured in terms of numbers. So he gave his approach a name as ordinal approach. Ordinal approach of defining consumer equilibrium, where he defined satisfaction in terms of rank or in terms of high, mid or lower level of satisfaction. Now, in this chapter we are going to see first of all BC contents. So as we have told you that this is another chapter, so first of all what we are taking is what do you mean by IC and what are the assumptions of it. What do you mean by IC set and what are the properties of IC. So here we go. If we talk about indifference curve, first of all let me tell you with the help of a diagram. Say this is Y, this is X, let it be good X, let it be good Y. Now with the help of a diagram we used to give our definition. So definition lies over here. Indifference curve is a diagrammatic representation of the two goods that are being consumed by a consumer, and both the goods are offering him the same level of satisfaction at different possible level of consumption. Again I say, indifference curve is a diagrammatic representation of the two goods that are being consumed by a consumer, and both goods are offering the same level of satisfaction at different point of consumption. So if we make different points of consumption, see these dots that we have made, say A, B, C, D, E, F and G. So these are basically the points that are offering the same level of satisfaction to the consumer by consuming good X and Y simultaneously. It means we just need to see that he must be in the consumption of two goods all the time. Fine. Now, if we say this is indifference curve, we just need to see what are its assumptions. As we told you, indifference curve is a diagrammatic representation of two goods. It means we just need to see first of all that the consumer who is consuming two goods must be rational in choosing and consuming both the goods. It means first assumption that consumer must be rational. He must be very rational in selecting and consuming the two goods. He must not go entirely for one good and leaving the units of other good left behind. Fine? Now, there must be two goods all the time. We have taken as X and Y. So, ऐसा कभी नहीं होना चाहिए. There must not be a point anyway that there is only one good that is being consumed. Else, we won't be able to understand what will be the indifference point. Since we need to see that the consumer must derive same level of satisfaction. It means what is necessary for us to get same level of satisfaction by the consumer from the consumption of various units of commodity at various possible levels. That we need to know that this is basically what we say as indifference curve. Now, third, there must be monotonic preferences. What do you mean by monotonic preferences? This indicates that a consumer has a limited level of income. With his limited level of income, he must sacrifice some unit of one good in order to gain another units of another good. Right? It means we say he must, if he want to consume more unit of good X, he just need to sacrifice the unit of good Y. He cannot simultaneously purchase both the goods at once. Since his level of income is limited, his income has not been increased. So, if the income is not increased and is given and constant and is limited, we can say he must sacrifice some units of Y in order to gain more units of X. That is what his monotonic preference is all about, that he must choose between the goods, and the good that is going to give him more satisfaction, he must start consuming that good more or that units more in order to sacrifice the least satisfactory units of the goods. Okay, so third we take it as monotonic preference. It means it is just basically a liking towards one good more than the other one. That is monotonic preferences. So fourth, we say that just now income of the consumer is given, limited and held as constant. It means he must not increase his level of income, else his level of satisfaction will also increase, because he will be able to by more units of the commodity, he will be able to increase his level of consumption then. Now, fourth level, fifth point, if we talk about indifference curve, right? Now, fifth will be he must consume at a single point of time. Again, the consumption must be uniform and must be at a single point of time, so that he might be able to get the same level of satisfaction. He must be able to give up one unit, he must be able to gain another unit. For example, I give you a very reasonable example. Suppose a person is having candies and chocolate. He is in a consumption of candies also. He is in a consumption of chocolate also. Say in good Y we used to place candies, and in good Y we used to place chocolate. Okay. Now, if he is in a consumption of candies, fine. If we say he is in a consumption of 10 candies and 1 chocolate, and would like to consume more chocolate, certainly he need to give up some candies in order to gain another unit of chocolate. Simultaneously, he will be able to increase his level of consumption and give up some more units as and when he will be giving his level of satisfaction, he will be able to gain more and more and more units of satisfaction from another group. So it is basically the liking for the chocolate that he is giving up the units of candies. That is what we recently called it as monotonic preferences. So again we say at different possible level he is deriving the same level of satisfaction, because he is very keen to give up the candies in order to gain more units of chocolate. It means if 10 candies and 1 chocolate gives him the some level of satisfaction, 8 candies and 2 chocolates will give him the same level of satisfaction. 6 candies and 3 chocolate again will give him the same level of satisfaction, and so on. So it means, again we say, indifference curve is basically the diagrammatic representation that shows the consumption of two goods at various possible levels, offering a consumer same level of satisfaction. Same level of satisfaction means indifference. It means the consumer must be indifferent toward the consumption of both the commodities at different possible levels. Okay. Now, coming next to that is IC set. Now, what we need to establish, we are going to frame a schedule or we say table. If this is Y, or we can say, if this is Y, or we say chocolates, and sorry, X is chocolate and Y this is candies. Now, we just need to see how we can produce indifference set. Now, we already told you if a consumer is consuming 1 unit of chocolate and say 20 units of candies, for example, taking it this way, right? Now, if we want to consume second unit of chocolate, definitely would like to sacrifice many units of candy, say 15. You will like to sacrifice 5 candy of 5 units of candy for the 1 unit of chocolate. Again, if we need to consume 1 more unit of chocolate, he would like to sacrifice least unit of or less number of units of candy. Again, if you want to consume more unit of chocolate, again you would like to sacrifice lesser unit of candy. This process will go on and it will lead to tell that he can attain, this will lead to attain him that he will be interested in sacrificing least number of candies in order to get more chocolate, since he will be demanding again candies and he will not like to leave candies also, and simultaneously he would like to increase the consumption of chocolates too. Since at the beginning he has sacrificed higher unit of candy, but at once he will realize I need to increase my utility for candies also. So at later on stage, he would like to consume or he would like to sacrifice lesser and lesser unit of candy for additional unit of chocolates. That is what we can say that indifference curve, as we told you, indifference curve is convex to the point of origin. This curve is basically convex to the point of origin, and the main reason behind this convexity is the diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Now we have come with the other term, that is marginal rate of substitution. It is basically the rate of sacrifice that is being given in order to gain additional unit of another good. So if we talk about MRS, marginal rate of substitution, in the first case it will be nil, but if we say it is basically a chain, loss upon gain, again as that we have read it out in MOC also for PPC, the same manner we just need to see the marginal rate of substitution will be loss in unit of one good upon the gain in unit of another one. It means marginal rate of substitution purely based on marginal opportunity cost. It will imply the proportion of loss over gain, where we are losing some units of one good for the sake of gaining the units of another good. So if we told you that this will be the formula of loss in y upon gain in x, it means it will be the loss of unit, that is 5, and the gain will be 1. Again, if we say this will be the loss it means loss will be 4 in order to gain another additional unit, that means 1. It means it will equal to 4. So our marginal rate of substitution is 5 for this position, this levels, 4 for these two levels. Again, if we continue with this level, we will be obtaining 3 as marginal unit. See, loss of 3 units for the gain of 1 unit of x. So it is 3 upon 1. Again, loss of 2 unit of y for the gain of 1 unit of x. It will be giving marginal rate of substitution as 2. Again, if we sacrifice 1 unit of y for the gain of 1 unit of x, it means our marginal rate of substitution is 1. If we say as a whole, our marginal rate of substitution is decreasing. So, decreasing marginal rate of substitution, or we can say diminishing marginal rate of substitution, is the main cause of convexity of IC. So, if someone asks or the question arises in the exam, why IC curve is convex to the point of origin, you have to write IC curve or indifference curve is convex to the point of origin due to diminishing marginal rate of substitution, and where you just need to pose this example. Okay, it means a consumer who was giving up more units of candy for the sake of additional unit of chocolate was least interested in giving higher number of chocolate of candies, or we can say at the later stage he is sacrificing least number of candies in order to gain the additional unit of chocolate. So it means we can say the indifference curve is convex to the point of origin. This is what we call as indifference set. This is what we call as indifference curve, and moreover we can say this is the reason DMRS, diminishing marginal rate of substitution. That is the reason for the convexity of IC. Fine. Now we are coming to the properties of IC. If we come to the properties of IC, we just need to see, and we will be able to understand our indifference curve more appropriately with the help of these properties. So, if we talk about the properties of indifference curve, first of all, indifference curve slopes downward from left to right. That we have seen just now. It means if we produce an indifference curve like this, we can say then it is good as say chocolates. So indifference curve slopes downward from left to right indicates that a consumer is willing to sacrifice more candy for the gain of chocolates due to DMRS, and this is lead to second property that IC is convex to the point of origin due to just now what we told you, due to DMRS, or we say diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Now, if we prepare more than one IC on a single graph, IC1, IC2, IC3, IC4, it means we can say IC4 is giving a higher level of satisfaction than IC3. IC3 is giving the higher level of satisfaction than IC2. IC2 is giving the higher level of satisfaction than IC1. It means we can say higher level of IC gives higher level of satisfaction. This you can understand with the help of this point. If I place this point like this, and if I place this over this, see, the level of satisfaction are higher for IC4 and lower for IC1. So we can easily say higher level of IC gives higher level of satisfaction, and more than one IC on a single graph is known as indifference map. We just need to see more. I repeat once again, more than one IC, or we can say more than one indifference curve on a single graph is known as indifference map, or we can say indifference curve map. Okay, and this is the indifference curve map that indicates higher level of IC gives higher level of satisfaction. Now, no two or more IC can intersect each other. It means we can say no two IC can intersect each other. It means, for example, if this is an IC and this is also an IC, for example, let us assume they intersect. Okay? If they intersect, so this is the IC1, this is the IC2. Now, I make a point over A, this is the point P, this is the point B, or this is the point C, and this is the point R, and this is the point C. Now, just now what we have seen, higher level of IC gives higher level of satisfaction. It means this is higher IC than this one. It means the satisfaction level that a consumer is being deriving from P should be more than A. And we have also seen that indifference curve means same level of satisfaction in all the possible combination that we used to make. It means if we talk about IC curve 2, it means all these points will give the same level of satisfaction. Again, if we say all points on indifference curve 1 will give the same level of satisfaction, then how can it be possible when they intersect at point B giving the same level of satisfaction? Then it will imply that A is giving the same level of satisfaction as P, since both are intersecting at this point, and at this point B, A, the level of satisfaction that A is giving will be equal to the level of satisfaction that B is giving, and if the level of satisfaction P is giving will be the same as the level of satisfaction B is giving, because again we say this is also a point that is being touched by both the IC curve. So we can say both are giving the same level of satisfaction. This cannot be possible, since we have seen higher level of satisfaction, higher level of IC gives higher level of satisfaction. It means we can conclude no two or more IC can intersect each other at any point. Okay. Then next property, IC never touches either axis, say X or Y. It means as we need the consumption of both the goods, none of the goods consumption should be zero. If they will not be zero, IC never touches either X or Y. Getting my point? See, I tell you. If we say this is an IC curve or this is an IC curve, or if we prepare again, this is an IC curve, so IC curve cannot touch either axis, neither Y nor X. Since we need two goods for the consumption in order to derive the same level of satisfaction. If there will be one good, the same level of satisfaction will not be able to obtain. So we say IC curve indifference curve never touches either axis. Okay. So basically these are the properties of indifference curve that we have seen with you all. I wish that the content are getting clear to you as we have started our fourth chapter of consumer equilibrium using indifference curve. In the next chapter of consumer equilibrium, in this chapter, we are going to undertake further sessions such as budget line, or we are going to see how a consumer equilibrium will be obtained with the help of budget line and indifference curve. Right? So thank you so much students for joining with us and are listening and understanding our e-lecture. We are constantly improvising our contents, and we wish that it will be a very helpful source for you. And keep completing your assignments. Whatever the doubts you are having, we will be arranging more sessions for you, more Zoom classes for you, so that the doubt can be removed. Right? So thank you so much students. We will be in touch with you very soon. See you.